Praying, I said, Lord, I want you to give me the word that comes from you.
All right.
And I said, I want to be obedient in what he would have me to do and to say today. He gave me a topic, the virtuous woman.
Virtuous woman.
And it's really a lifestyle for men and women. And the things, I said, Lord, you give me the words to say, and it's from my heart, it comes from him. Amen. It's about bringing God's peace to a world that's so busy and chaotic. And to know that a woman has a place. And so many times when they think of a virtuous woman, people think of just married women. But whatever world that you're in, whoever lives you touch, we ought to be where we are touching and ministering in our everyday lives. When we wake up in the morning, when we go throughout our day, God is there. He has a place, a purpose, something for you to do. And in order for us to do that, we have to be willing to admit that we need help. And I encourage all women to have 3 women close to them. Number 1, an older woman that is wise, someone you trust that is spiritual, someone your age that you can relate to and can motivate. You can motivate each other. And someone that's younger that you can mentor, that you can share the knowledge and the wisdom that you have. And so many people think of a virtuous woman as looking a certain way, but no, it's an attitude, someone knowing who they are. And I looked up the word virtuous. Good behavior, pure, righteous, moral, dependable, ethical, someone you can really trust. And when I looked at the words, when you think of virtuous, it's assertive, not aggressive. So many women, especially women nowadays, I have to do for myself and I can't do it. It's not about that you cannot do for yourself, but you choose to be a lady in everything that you do. Now there's a difference in assertive and aggressive. Assertive is confident, not afraid, upfront about what they want. They have a plan, and that plan is in action. And they they have a plan that helps you get what you plan to do. And I want you to look at your life today. And they used to tell us when we were in school, or less than over 30 years ago when I was in high school, what do you want to be 10 years from now? Don't just take the easy way out, because God has a plan for you. If you just come every Sunday morning and just sit on the pew, God has a plan for you to do something. And if you don't plan to do, you won't plan. If they said if you don't plan, you will fail. And then one thing about it, so many people are afraid of failing. But the people that are prosperous and are able to do things, they have failed many times.
Right.
To have a successful life, there's going to be some failure in there.
Come on.
But if you are a virtuous woman, you can say, yes, I made a mistake. Yes, I said the wrong thing. I went the wrong way, but Lord, like we said in the Sunday school lesson, that one man, he said, Lord, have mercy on me. And when we're able to do that, that is a sign of a virtuous woman.
Come on.
Now, aggressive person, we won't say woman, we'll say person, is hostile, belligerent, antagonistic. They won't let you have a word in anyone. I mean, when they come, oh Lord, here they come. You don't know what they're going to say. And usually it's not the right thing. Right. And if we be honest, how many of us have ever been there and said something you wish you could take back? But once it's out there, we have to say, Lord, help me not to do that again.
Right.
And that's where we come into working on this. And they said sometimes they're fighters, they're angry. And you know, it's being a virtuous woman, we are fighters, but we choose our fight and we know how to fight, not in the physical, no. And I can share one thing, me and Elder Jacobs, we've been married 25 years. And you know, in my household, my mom cooked the meal and she served it, and wasn't nobody coming in the kitchen. You may come to the kitchen and pass through, but you didn't do any other things. Elder Jacobs' household, his mom would let him, because he would help her cook sometimes, she would let him come in and pinch off the food as she cooked. So when I cooked, when we first got married, he would come in, I would say, get out of my kitchen. Get out. He said, no. And then he would still sneak back through and I see a piece of the meat bit pinch off or the bread, or he'll taste whatever I'm cooking.
Amen.
And then now I realize that I choose my fights. I know he's coming when I cook. He's coming in there. I maybe fix a little extra piece because he's going to pinch off of it. He's going to taste it. And you know, I said, I thank God that he loves my cooking.
Right.
Amen. And then sometimes, still virtuous. One day I was cooking some chicken, and he's going to tell me how to cook the chicken. And I can remember a time I would have told him what for. You don't tell me how. But I reminded him, I said, wait a minute. Do you remember how I can cook? That, you know, that he said, well, I remember we had that chicken that other day. We picked up at the restaurant, and they didn't cook it right. And I said, but that was not my cooking. No. That was assertive, was saying, no, I know how to fix my chicken. And I went in there, and of course, by the time before it was finished, he pinched off of it. And of course, there was I think we had a piece left that later on that night, he came back through and ate that. But what I'm saying, I've seen the time we would have a knockdown drag. I dare you say, I can't cook chicken. But I thank God that he has brought me a long way. And that's what our message is about today, is being virtuous in what we do. And we're going to talk about a little love story about Naomi and Ruth. And Naomi had a husband, and she had 2 sons. And you know, she lost her husband, and her 2 sons had the 2 wives. And you know, they had a relationship. And that's one thing in our lives. God gives us people. Sometimes he gives us people for a season. Some people we're going to have in our life for a while. And some people we're going to have forever. As long as we live, I won't say forever. So when Ruth and the other daughter, their son, Naomi's, both of her sons died. And her husband had died. Yeah. But Naomi and the other spouse, they were really close with Ruth. I mean, they were really close with Naomi. And Ruth, and so Naomi said, listen, y'all need to go back to your home and be with your family. You know, she said, you all have your place. And they said, no, we want to stay with you. They were so close to her because they looked up to her.
All right.
And then finally, one of the ladies, she went on back to her house. And Ruth stayed with her. And she said, I'm going to go where you go. Your people are my people. Yeah. Where you sleep, I will sleep. Where you die and be buried, that's where I'm going to be buried. And there are some people in our lives to help us. But kind of like the song that Shotwell sang, the Lord will make a way. Mm-hmm. And Ruth knew her way was going to be made with Naomi. Amen. Because she knew God had a plan.
All right.
Now, number one, Ruth loved God.
Yeah.
She loved her mother-in-law more than she loved her family. Because not that she didn't love them. She still had her mother's love, but she was dedicated to Naomi because she knew what God had planned for her to do. Because back then, if your spouse died, then the relative that was close to them, they would try to match you up with them. Right. So she was going with Naomi to another land where there was some more family. Amen. And so then that's why she said, I'm going to follow you. I'm going to go where you go. So then we'll start with Ruth 3:1. Then Naomi, her mother-in-law, said unto her, my daughter, shall I not seek rest for thee? That it may be well with thee. Naomi made a commitment. She said, since you're going to stick by me, I'm going to instruct you. So that established the relationship between the two. The next verse. And now is not Boaz of our kindred. In other words, Boaz is that relative. I said if the spouse died, one of the relatives would come in and take the place. With whose maids thou wast, behold, let me stop the scripture, stop right there. When they went to the country where Boaz was, then Ruth came to Naomi and said, listen, there's Boaz, they're out there. The way they made their living back then, they were in the fields getting the barley. So she said, well, Boaz is one of our kindred. So I want to be, this is the virtuous woman. She had a plan. She wanted Boaz to see her. But she wasn't all in his face. She said, I'm going to go out into the fields and I'm going to show him and show the people that I'm around. She made a difference in the environment where she was. She went out and she started, first the people that worked there would get the barley. After they had finished, then other people could come in and get barley, what was left. So what she did was she went and got the barley. So Boaz saw her. And so then he noticed who she was, and she said, who are you? And then she introduced herself, and she humbled herself. And then he said, okay, you go out and don't look at anybody else's fields. I want you to look at my fields only and gather up the barley. So they said she gathered up 1 ephah, which is about a bushel. And he said, then she bowed at his feet, and then he made a commitment. He told all of the other brothers that were around there, listen, watch out for her. Do not bother her. Let her get the barley. And that's one thing about women, and men, we have to realize that you are our covering. Boaz became her covering. He told the other men, watch out for her. Let her get what she wants. Because she had found favor in Boaz's eyes. And the worst thing you can do is mishandle a woman or allow someone else to. Come on. Even in this church, the brothers that are here, if we're in service, and you know I've seen it in our service, when they mishandle Bishop, he's a grown man. Amen. I'm giving you what God told me to remind us. As we grow as a church, we've got to come together and stick together. They mishandled Bishop, and somebody jumped up, and they said, you will not do that. When they mishandle us as women, nobody spoke up. We were in another service. And the worst, some things, the men should not handle. The women should handle it. Right. And when the men overstep, there's some things the women cannot get away with, but the men have to stand up and say, listen, these are our women. Right. I will not allow you to mishandle them. Right. But Boaz told them beforehand, watch out for her. Don't let anybody mess with her. And Boaz had power, and they listened to him. And so that's how it worked out. But she was not mishandled. And a woman that's mishandled, they may not say anything. But it sets a pattern. A lot of girls have been mishandled since they were little. Right. And we wonder why they come out to be the way they are. Because the dad has either mishandled them or let someone else. So it starts as a little girl. The virtue starts. We have to train them up. That's right. And show them that we love them. It's not an easy thing to do. And then when they get grown, look at them. Look how they turned out. And we can always say, Lord, help me. I can't change the past, but I can work on handling now. Amen. And now he said, whose maid's thou wast? Behold, he went in barley tonight. This is what Naomi was telling her. They're going to be, what they do to the barley, I looked it up, they took it and put it on this thing, and they beat it to separate the stuff on the threshing floor. The threshing floor is concrete. That's right. And they beat it on there, so they take it from there. It's like a process. The next verse. This is what Naomi told Ruth. First, Naomi asked her, what should she do? That's where the older woman comes in. She said, wash thyself thereof, anoint thee, and put thy raiment upon thee. Yes. And he said, get down to the floor, but make thyself known unto the man. Make not thyself known unto the man till he has done eating and drinking. Right. She got wise counsel from Naomi. Yeah. She told her what to do, how to do, and when to do. That's where the wise woman comes in at. And she was obedient to what she said. The next verse. And it shall be, when he lie down, that thou shalt mark the place where he shall lie, and thou shalt go in, uncover his feet, and lay thy down, and he will tell thee what thou shalt do. Well, so some people are saying that she was close to doing something that was not right. But God had a plan for her. And some people try to say that it was unlawful what she did. It was not. She went in and uncovered his feet. And he realized that she was there. To know, he already knew who she was. Let's go on to the next verse, and it will give us a little more information. And she said unto her, all that thou said unto me I will do. That's what Ruth said to Naomi. I trust what you said, and I'm going to do it. The 7th verse says, that's it. And she said, lay down the floor, and did according to all that her mother-in-law bade her to do. So he is in there, laying down by the bushel of the barley on the floor. She went in, uncovered his feet, just like Naomi said. Go over to the next verse. And when Boaz had eaten and drunk, and his heart was merry, he went to lie down at the end of the heap of the corn, and she came softly, still virtuous, and uncovered his feet and laid her down. The next verse. And it came to pass at midnight that the man was afraid and turned himself, and behold, a woman lay at his feet. Ninth verse. And he said, Who art thou? And she answered, I am Ruth, thine handmaid. Spread therefore thy skirt over thine handmaid, for thou art a near kinsman. In other words, cover me up with your cover. This was totally innocent, and he did what she asked him to do. In other words, I need your cover and your protection. And the 10th verse. And he said, Blessed be thou of the Lord, my daughter, for thou hast showed more kindness in the latter than at the beginning. Inasmuch as thou followest not young men, whether poor or rich. In other words, she had a choice of who she could have went for some younger men, but she had made a choice of Boaz. And the 11th verse. And now, my daughter, fear not, I will do to thee all that thou requirest. For all the city of my people does not know that thou art. The whole city knows that thou art a virtuous woman. In other words, the way she lived, the way she carried herself, the way she worked, they knew that she was virtuous. She was someone trustworthy.
Yeah.
And he said, everybody knows. Now the 12th verse. And now it is true that I am thy near kinsman. Back then, like I said, when someone died, the near relative is the person that you're supposed to marry. Howbeit there is a kinsman nearer than I am, The 13th verse. Tarry this night, and it shall be in the morning that if he will perform unto thee the part of the kinsman. In other words, stay here with me. We've got to talk to the other relative first. Well, let him do the kinsman part. But if he will not do the part of the kinsman to thee, then will I do the part of a kinsman to thee. As the Lord liveth, lie down until the morning. And she still lay at his feet. It's from about 12 o'clock till later in the morning. Still, that was totally innocent. There was nothing happened. But Ruth had a plan, and she wanted to do what God had called her to do. The 14th verse says, And she lay at his feet until the morning, and she rose up before one could know another. She woke up before anybody else could see her, for peace sake. They didn't want people saying, what happened, who did, we saw her leaving. She left before anybody else woke up, but we know nothing happened. And he said, let it not be known that a woman came into the floor. He still protected her because he didn't want anybody to say anything about her, because it was totally innocent. But the devil can get into things that even maybe look a little suspicious.
Yeah.
We know what happened. Yeah, they both were human. But that night nothing happened because God was in the plan. Verse number 15. It says, Also he said, Bring the veil that thou hast upon thee, and hold it. And when she held it, it measured 6 measures of barley, and laid it on her. And she went into the city. So I looked up that, and they said that weighs between 180 and 300 pounds, is what he gave her. The 16th verse says, And when she came to her mother-in-law, she said, Who art thou? She was just covered with the barley from what Boaz had given her, my daughter. And she told her all that the man had done to her. And the 17th verse. And she said, These 6 measures of barley gave he me, for he said to me, Go not empty unto thy mother-in-law. So he was still a caring person. So she carried the 180 to 300 pounds of barley back to her mother-in-law. That lets me know she's a strong woman. She's not afraid. She had a plan, she had a goal, and it wasn't easy. And it's a lot of times when we go through life, like I said, we want to take the easy way out. We don't want that supervisor's job. We say it's too much stress. But you may be the supervisor that we need. Someone that's got some spiritual sense. Someone that has wisdom to know how to interact with people. But that's a decision only you and God can make. If God has called you to something, be willing and open and say, Lord, let your will be done. Because I know that they had to be afraid. They had to be being two women, even though they had lived there before, but they knew what God had said. And that's why they chose to be obedient. Amen. And the 18th verse says, Then said she, Sit still, my daughter, until thou know how the matter will fall. For the man will not be in rest until he have finished the thing this day. And a lot of people get anxious. But she continued to listen to Naomi. She told her to sit still. Because really, we as women, we are designed to respond. We can deflate a situation, or we can escalate. Because, I mean, that's the way God made it, male and female. And a lot of times we need to sit still and be still, but we want to have something to say or something to do, and that's when the problems come in. But she had enough wisdom to listen to her friend Naomi, and she told her, sit still and let the man finish this matter. And he's going to do it today. Now I want to skip over to Ruth 4 and 11. He went on and he talked to the other relative to save some time. And that's what the other part of it is. It's really a lovely love story about how God worked it out. He talked to the other relative and said, listen, you're closer to her, and if you, I want to know, are you interested? You need to buy the land, and if you want to marry her, well, it's up to you. You're first. And the man said, no, I don't have no interest in it. You go ahead and you take it. And he went ahead and he talked to her, and he decided this is who he wanted. And all the people that were in the gate and in the elders said, we are witnesses. The Lord make the woman that is come unto this house, like Rachel and like Leah, which two did build the house of Israel, and do thou worthily in Ephraim, and be famous in Bethlehem. In other words, they decided it was okay for them to go in and get married. And the 12th verse, and let the house be like the house of Perez, whom Tamar bare unto Judah, and the seed which the Lord shall give thee of this young woman. Because Ruth and Boaz at that point, they were married. Not because Boaz was so excited, but because Ruth had a plan. And she counseled with Naomi. And Naomi told her what to do each step of the way. And Ruth was obedient. She was consistent. She was a virtuous, hard-working woman. And she was brave. She had to be courageous to do the things that she did. Amen. And it takes God to do that. And the last scripture, a couple more scriptures. I want to go to Proverbs 31 and 10. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies.
Yeah. Amen.
When you find a woman that knows how to interact, interface, wherever they are. I got a phone call on Tuesday from my grandson. He's in the kindergarten. He didn't call me, but the school did. He said he had swallowed a rock. And it's one of those situations I prayed. I said, Lord, I pray that he's okay. They couldn't get a hold of their mom and dad, so I said, I'll be right there. And I said, Lord, I pray he's okay. Give me words to say. And I got to the school, and he was crying. Tears were drying on his face. His eyes were red. And I got him, and I took his hand, and I rubbed him. I said, you okay? And he said, Grandma, am I going to be all right? I said, I think. I wanted to say, boy, why did you swallow that rock? What's wrong with you? But I didn't do that. I said, are you okay? He said, yeah, I'm okay. Are they going to have to cut me? I said, cut you? I said, no. They're going to probably do an x-ray. Will the x-ray hurt? I said, no, baby. X-ray won't hurt. They just go, it's a little camera that they put in your stomach, and they're going to look around and see when they can find it. He said, okay. And then we was in the car. Grandma, are you sure? I said, I'm positive. It's going to be all right. And I thank God for the opportunity. These are the little things that we have an opportunity. And in the back of my mind, I said, boy, but I think about a 5-year-old. And I said, boy, tell me how you got the rock in your mouth. Well, I was playing with the rock, and I leaned my head back and I swallowed it. I said, Well, we don't eat rocks, do we? No, Grandma, I don't think I'll ever eat another rock. So when they sit him in the, they brought a portable x-ray machine in, and they x-rayed his throat and his chest. And he was crying. I said, you okay? And I was looking at him around. He started smiling, he stopped crying. I said, you all right? And I said, Lord, I thank you for the opportunity. Just I don't think we're going to have any problems with it with the rocks. But it's just little things that we can do to encourage. And even when it comes down to our own children, I've seen times I've heard parents say, if they come and ask for money, no, why you keep coming after me for money? There we go. You know how to trust. I say, no, I don't have any money to lend. Same thing. Your blood pressure don't get raised. No, you be silly. Oh, if you give here, take it. You'll ask me for nothing else. That's not virtue. I'm gonna lend this to you, but you know what? I want it back by a certain day. Same objective, but I didn't raise my voice. And even if we don't agree, you see, we can agree to disagree. Amen. Because it's not about me, it's not about what I wear. But I don't make the dress. I mean, the dress doesn't make me. I make the dress. The title doesn't make me. It's me and the title. Amen. And then, in order for all this to come together, it's important to know it takes the Holy Ghost. You can try to be virtuous. You can say, oh, Lord, I can do it. I can do it. I cannot do it by myself. I'll be the first one to throw my hands up. Lord, I need your help. Every morning when I wake up, I thank the Lord for just waking me up, but I want to be a better mother. I want to be a better grandmother. I'll be a better teacher's assistant, a better driver. Amen. Yes, I need to be a good driver because I sure don't want any tickets. And people only apply it to certain things, but it should be applied to every aspect of your life. And when you have Jesus in your life, it will. It'll overflow on all the areas. Amen. Ruth just wasn't virtuous when she was in the field. She was virtuous when she was at home with Naomi, because if she wasn't, she would have left and went back. But she was committed to her. She said, where you're buried, I want to be buried. That's a commitment. It is. Amen. And my final verse is Proverbs 30 and 31. Yes. Favor is deceitful and beauty is vain. But a woman that feareth the Lord shall be praised. Amen. Favor is deceitful. In other words, I got favor. I got it. You just jealous because I got it. Beauty is vain. In other words, it doesn't last always. That's right. And as women, we know sometimes we wake up, we have big bags on our eyes. And we try to get that night cream, the day cream, afternoon cream, evening cream, whatever we can get. Eyeshadow, eyeliner. Amen. But I thank God that when you fear the Lord, you will be praised. That's where your goodness comes. What you do for Christ won't last. It won't matter how many degrees I have or where I worked. In about 50 years or so, maybe my grandchildren may remember. They said, what was that Grandma Jacob, what was her first name? And somebody may say, well, I remember when she made that chicken. But it won't matter. It won't. That's right. And we were thinking about our property. We said, and we wondered, well, they put houses now. I wonder what other things were there 100 years ago? What was in this neighborhood? I wonder what was there. But one thing that will not move is God at heaven. Come on. Because He is God all day and all night. Yeah. And that He is our source. And He's there to help us to be what He's called us to be. Elder Jacobs has said it many times. Whatever He's called you to do, He will help you do it. Yes, amen. So if there's someone here that has a prayer need, you say, I need help. I need more virtue. I want to stand in for someone else. Or if you just need prayer for yourself, we ask you to come down at this time.
Thank you, Jesus. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.